Intelligence isn't just something we're born with, it's a mix of our genes and the experiences we have in life. In A Brief History of Intelligence, Max Bennett makes a strong point that we can't look at intelligence as something fixed or determined only by our DNA. While it's true that some people may have natural abilities, our surroundings and what we go through also play a huge role in shaping how we think and learn. This means that how we grow up, the people we meet, and the challenges we face all help to build our intelligence. As we explore this idea, we also see how these same factors influence the way we create artificial intelligence, leading us to rethink what intelligence really means. Bennett begins by tackling the age-old question, what is intelligence? It's a tough question because intelligence is a term we use in so many ways, from describing human smarts to animal survival skills, even to machine capabilities. Historically, intelligence was often seen as this mysterious quality that made humans unique. Philosophers like Aristotle, for example, considered it to be what separated humans from other animals, an ability to reason and think abstractly. Today, scientists and thinkers have a broader view. Intelligence isn't seen as just reasoning or abstract thought. It's understood as a combination of abilities that include problem solving, adaptability, and social interactions. Bennett's point here is that intelligence isn't an all-or-nothing thing. Instead, it's a spectrum with different forms and levels across species. For example, crows and dolphins show impressive problem-solving skills, while ants exhibit complex social behavior. He also suggests that intelligence has been evolving gradually, step by step, driven by survival needs. In defining intelligence, Bennett expands it to cover both biological and artificial forms. Intelligence evolved in biological organisms over millions of years, with each species developing cognitive skills suited to its environment. But we're now at a point where artificial intelligence systems also demonstrate forms of intelligence, though different from our own. Bennett makes an interesting comparison between biological and artificial intelligence. He notes that biological intelligence evolved over time from simple nervous systems into complex brains capable of self-awareness and abstract thought, a journey shaped by the pressures of nature and survival. In contrast, artificial intelligence has developed in a very different manner. Rather than gradually evolving like a biological brain, AI was intentionally designed by humans to address specific tasks. It began with basic algorithms focused on data processing and calculation, but has now advanced into sophisticated deep learning systems that can recognize patterns, make predictions, and even learn from experiences. This stark difference highlights the unique trajectories of these two forms of intelligence. This framing lets Bennett present AI as another step in the story of intelligence, though created by humans instead of nature. While artificial and biological intelligence aren't the same, they share similarities in how they solve problems, recognize patterns, and adapt to new information. Bennett's goal is to map out the evolution of intelligence by identifying 5 major breakthroughs. These milestones represent key steps in history that transformed the brain's capabilities and enabled new forms of thought, with each breakthrough acting as a significant leap forward, adding a new layer to the potential of the brain. The first breakthrough is the development of simple nervous systems, which laid the foundation for basic sensory and motor responses. This evolved into early complex brains, which facilitated simple problem-solving and social behaviors. The emergence of the neocortex marked a critical step in mammalian evolution, enabling advanced sensory processing and memory. Following this, social intelligence and culture became essential for human cooperation and learning from others. Finally, the ability for abstract thinking and planning unique to humans has proven crucial for advancements in art, religion, technology, and strategic planning. Each of these breakthroughs represents a new upgrade to the brain, driven by environmental challenges and the need to adapt. They weren't sudden changes, but gradual shifts, which gave some species the tools to survive and thrive in different ways. Understanding these steps in evolution means not simply looking into the past. He believes this journey was indicative of understanding ourselves and perhaps where our intelligence might go. The ability to understand natural evolution in intelligence enables him to think more carefully about what kind of intelligence he creates within machines. Bennett even speculates that AI could be seen as the next breakthrough in intelligence development, but one engineered artificially. If every advance added something new to the biological brain, then AI would be yet another breakthrough, one engineered on purpose by humans. This kind of thinking puts us in a position to imagine AI not as some sort of rival to human intelligence, but rather as parallel intelligence that could complement our own. Max Bennett explores what he sees as the 5 breakthroughs in intelligence. These 5 breakthroughs stand out as being the essential evolutionary steps that made intelligence as we know it today possible. Think of each one, if you will, as a powerful upgrade in nature's development of the human brain, advancements that allowed us to be more aware, capable, and better at solving increasingly complex problems. All right, so let's dive into each of these discoveries one by one and really break them down. How our brains could have evolved from modest beginnings into the extremely sophisticated organs that we now possess. Breakthrough 1. The origin of neurons and primitive nervous systems. Consider the most simple life forms to have ever lived in the ocean. These were tiny single-celled organisms consisting of a jellyfish or sea sponge-like structure. While lacking brains, these simple organisms had simple cells capable of receiving and responding to environmental stimuli. As time passed, these cells became capable of communicating electrically with other cells. Where more cells were communicating, organisms could coordinate some simple movements. This is how neurons, the small units responsible for building the nervous system, came into existence. The neural networks were simple and included a bundle of nerves that, through their association, could activate simple reflexes such as contraction or withdrawal from harm. Simple communication. Given time, these cells specialized and were then capable of communicating among themselves, thereby giving a way to organisms to respond rapidly to environmental changes. This gross nervous system was unable to construct high-level thoughts, but rather survival ones that allowed them to move away from predators, find food, and respond to the environment. It would be like early programs in AI terms. It would follow a set structure or a set of basic rules in carrying out simple tasks. The second breakthrough, emergence of complex brains and early cognition. The evolution of the brain has been a slow and steady journey. The journey of brain evolution began billions of years ago with simple organisms. Early life forms, like single-celled organisms and jellyfish, had very basic nerve nets. These nerve networks allowed them to respond to their environment without a central regulating control. As animals evolved, their nervous systems gradually became more complex. Fish, one of the first vertebrates, displayed distinct brain regions dedicated to different tasks. A more complex brain allowed animals to process information in sophisticated ways. Fish, for example, developed brains that helped them navigate their watery environments more effectively, find food and avoid predators. As evolution progressed to amphibians and then reptiles, a critical part of the brain called the forebrain began to emerge. Responsible for processing sensory information and supporting learning and memory, the forebrain became more prominent, allowing these animals to respond to their surroundings with greater flexibility and sophistication. With a larger forebrain, animals could remember past experiences and learn from them, meaning they were not just reacting to stimuli, but planning actions based on learned experiences. For instance, a frog could remember a location with abundant food based on previous encounters, marking a significant cognitive leap from simpler life forms. Complex social structures among reptiles and early mammals required communication and cooperation, placing new demands on their brains. Behaviors like forming social bonds, hunting in groups, and caring for young all required cognitive skills. Social environments demanded that individuals recognize each other, remember past interactions, and respond accordingly. This shift in cognitive resources drove evolution to favor individuals with stronger memory and social abilities. One key development in this phase was the ability to learn from experience. Early mammals began adapting their behavior based on what did or did not work in the past. This learning extended beyond trial and error, involving an understanding of cause and effect. For instance, a mammal could learn to avoid certain plants that made it ill or return to a reliable food source. Developing memory systems allowed these creatures to store information about their environment and experiences, which was crucial for survival, enabling them to navigate and make informed decisions. Bennett draws parallels between the development of complex brains in animals and the growth of artificial intelligence. Early animals began with simple responses and then developed more complex behaviors. Similarly, AI evolved from basic algorithms to sophisticated learning models. Initially, AI could perform tasks based on programmed rules. With advancements in machine learning, AI systems began to learn from data, making them adaptable, much like the cognitive evolution in animals. Like animal brains, which have specialized regions, artificial neural networks process different types of information. Some layers of an AI model handle pattern recognition, while others focus on decision-making, imitating the complexity seen in biological brains. Social intelligence is all about understanding and interacting well with others. It includes skills like empathy, which is feeling what others feel, good communication and navigating complex social situations. Think of it as the people skills that help us work in teams, make friends, and build communities. This kind of intelligence is crucial for human survival. As we began living in groups, it became important to understand social dynamics. Groups that communicated effectively and worked together could hunt, gather food, raise young ones, and protect each other, while those who struggled socially faced difficulties. Bennett often looks at primates like chimpanzees and bonobos to illustrate early social intelligence. These animals live in complex social groups and show behaviors indicating they understand their social relationships. In these groups there are hierarchies, meaning some individuals are more dominant than others. Understanding this helps them navigate their social world. For instance, lower-ranking members often avoid confrontations with those higher up. Grooming is also essential in primate societies. It not only helps with cleanliness, but also strengthens social bonds, showing how social intelligence promotes cooperation and reduces tension. Cultural learning is another important aspect of intelligence development. It refers to passing down knowledge, skills and behaviors from one generation to the next through teaching and imitation rather than genetics. For example, young chimpanzees learn to use tools by observing older members. This method of learning is crucial as it allows knowledge to build over time. Innovations can also spread within and between groups. If one group learns to use sticks to get termites, that behavior can be shared with nearby groups. Just like humans, different groups of primates can develop their own unique cultural practices, leading to various problem-solving approaches. Language plays a big role in social intelligence. Bennett explains that being able to communicate complex ideas helped humans share knowledge and experiences more effectively. Language enables storytelling, teaching and working together, which are vital for building societies. Early communication likely started with gestures and simple sounds, eventually evolving into complex languages. This evolution marked a significant leap in cognitive abilities, allowing for the expression of abstract thoughts and emotions. With language, humans could form larger, more complex communities, discuss plans, share warnings, and create cultural stories that connect people and promote teamwork. Bennett also touches on how these ideas relate to AI. Just as primates learn from each other, AI systems can learn from the vast amounts of data generated through social interactions. For instance, machine learning models can improve by analyzing social media data, which reflects human behavior and communication. Natural language processing, or NLP, is another field within AI that focuses on how machines understand and respond to human language. This ability is essential for creating AI that interacts with people in meaningful ways. As AI becomes more adept at understanding social contexts and language, ethical questions arise, such as how to ensure these systems respect human values and social norms. So, what is abstract thinking? It's the ability to think about ideas that aren't tied to physical objects or experiences. For example, when we think about concepts like freedom, love, or justice, we're using abstract thought. This skill allows us to reason beyond what we can see or touch. Evidence shows that early humans, especially those from the Upper Paleolithic era, about 40,000 years ago, began creating art and symbolic items, like cave paintings and carvings, which indicate they understood ideas beyond just survival. They started using symbols to represent thoughts. For instance, a drawing of an animal might symbolize not just that animal, but also hunting or status in a group. This shift suggests a growth in cognitive abilities, allowing for more complex communication. The development of language also played a big role in boosting abstract thought. With more complex languages, humans could share ideas, discuss hypothetical situations, and plan for the future. This is important because language helps express abstract concepts and strengthens social connections. Tools also played a part in abstract thinking. Early humans didn't just make tools for survival, they also crafted them for future use. For instance, when they made a spear, they were thinking ahead about its usefulness for hunting later on. As tool-making got more advanced, it reflected the increasing complexity of human societies, with different groups creating unique tools based on their understanding of their environment and needs. This innovation was about more than just survival. It also improved efficiency in various tasks. Art and religious expression were early ways to show abstract thought too. Art became a way for early humans to communicate their ideas. The cave paintings found in places like Lascaux in France show not only animals but also rituals and stories that reveal a community's beliefs and experiences. Many early humans also took part in rituals that represented abstract ideas about life and death. For example, burial practices suggest they understood mortality and perhaps believed in an afterlife, which helped bond groups through shared beliefs and cultures. Future planning is another key aspect of abstract thinking. It means being able to think ahead and prepare for what might happen. This ability requires an understanding of time and the ability to imagine different scenarios. For instance, when faced with challenges, those who could strategize were more likely to succeed. If a group was low on food, those who could plan a hunting trip for the next week had a better chance of surviving. As societies grew, planning became more complex. Groups started to coordinate activities like hunting or migrating, which needed a shared understanding of future events and the roles everyone would play. Let's explore the idea of social intelligence and cultural learning. Social intelligence is all about how we understand and interact with others. It includes important skills like empathy, which is being able to feel what others feel, communication, which is how we share our thoughts and feelings, and social awareness, which means noticing the social cues and dynamics in groups. This kind of intelligence is essential for building relationships, working together and getting along in social situations. Bennett points out that social intelligence has developed a lot in primates and was really important for our ancestors' survival. Bennett also talks about how our closest relatives, like chimpanzees and bonobos, live in complex social groups with intricate relationships and hierarchies. For instance, these primates need to cooperate to find food and take care of their young, which means they must understand each other's behaviors and intentions. Strong social bonds are crucial for support and protection, and grooming is a common way they reinforce friendships and alliances. Young primates learn survival skills by watching and imitating older group members, which is the foundation for cultural practices. Cultural learning is about passing knowledge, skills, and customs from one generation to the next. Young primates often imitate adults when performing tasks like using tools or finding food. In their groups, they develop specific calls and gestures to share important information, such as alerts about danger or signals to gather food. This kind of communication is vital for coordinating group activities, and as these groups live together, they create shared practices that form their culture. Bennett highlights the emergence of language as a huge leap in social intelligence. While primates communicate with calls and gestures, human language is more complex. Language lets us express not just our immediate needs, but also abstract ideas, emotions, and plans for the future. This ability enhances our cooperation. We can negotiate, share information more effectively, and organize larger social groups. It also helps us pass down cultural knowledge through stories and traditions, enriching our collective understanding and identity. The development of social intelligence and cultural learning has greatly impacted human evolution. Groups with strong social intelligence could adapt better to challenges by sharing knowledge and working together to find food, avoid dangers, and solve problems. This intelligence led to the formation of complex communities, allowing humans to thrive in different environments worldwide. As social interactions became more intricate, our cognitive abilities evolved too, helping us think critically about our relationships and our role in the world. Bennett also makes an interesting connection between the growth of social intelligence in humans and advances in artificial intelligence. Just like young primates learn by observing others, AI systems learn from data. They analyze patterns to improve their performance. Researchers are creating AI that can understand and respond to human language, similar to how primates use calls, which makes interaction between humans and machines better. However, as AI gets better at mimicking social interactions, it raises important ethical questions about these interactions and the responsibilities that come with creating intelligent systems. Let's talk about how human intelligence and artificial intelligence are connected. Max Bennett explores how AI takes inspiration from the way humans think and learn. But first, what do we mean by intelligence? Human intelligence is all about our ability to learn new things, understand the world, solve problems, and adapt to new situations. This includes everything from simple tasks like recognizing faces and remembering names to more complex activities like planning for the future or creating art. In contrast, artificial intelligence refers to computer systems designed to do tasks that usually require human intelligence. This could be anything from recognizing your voice like Siri or Alexa to playing advanced games like chess or Go. One interesting point Bennett makes is how discoveries in neuroscience, the study of the brain, have shaped AI. Researchers look at how our brains process information and learn, and then they try to copy these processes in machines. For example, our brains are made up of billions of neurons that communicate with each other. Similarly, AI systems use artificial neurons known as nodes in networks called neural networks to process information. When we learn something new, our brains create new connections between these neurons. In AI, when the system learns, it adjusts the connections between nodes to improve how it works. Just like humans learn from their experiences, like learning not to touch a hot stove, AI uses a method called machine learning. In machine learning, the system gets better based on the data it processes, just like how a child improves with practice. As AI technology keeps growing, Bennett raises some important ethical questions about its development and use. These questions matter because as we create machines that can think and learn, we need to consider how these technologies will affect society. For example, if an AI system makes a mistake, like a self-driving car getting into an accident, who is responsible? Is it the manufacturer, the programmer, or the car itself? These questions challenge us to think about responsibility in a world where machines can make choices. Another concern is the impact on jobs. AI could automate many jobs from driving to customer service, which could lead to more efficiency, but also raises worries about job loss. How can we help workers transition to new roles as AI takes over existing jobs? Privacy is another big issue since many AI systems rely on huge amounts of data to learn. This raises questions about how our personal data is used and whether there are protections in place to keep our information safe. While AI has come a long way, Bennett also points out its limitations. For one, AI doesn't truly understand information like humans do. It can process tons of data and make decisions, but it lacks emotions, beliefs, or awareness behind its responses. For instance, an AI might generate text that seems coherent, but it's like a parrot repeating phrases without knowing what they mean. Also, human communication is filled with subtleties and context that AI often misses. A joke, for example, might not translate well for an AI because it lacks the life experiences or cultural background to really understand it, which limits its ability to have meaningful conversations with people. Looking to the future, Bennett discusses how we can integrate AI into our society. Instead of seeing AI as a replacement for human intelligence, we can think of it as a tool that complements what we do. For example, AI can help doctors by quickly analyzing medical images, allowing them to focus more on patient care. AI can also boost our abilities. Imagine having an AI assistant that helps you organize your thoughts for a project or suggests creative ideas based on your previous work. This kind of teamwork could lead to new ways of being creative and solving problems. Finally, as we move forward, it's important to keep ethical considerations in mind when developing AI. This means creating guidelines that ensure AI is made responsibly, focusing on transparency, fairness, and respect for human rights. Max Bennett looks at how our intelligence is shaped by both genetics, the traits we inherit from our parents, and our environment, which includes the experiences and surroundings we have. Let's break down these ideas into simpler terms. First, let's talk about genetics. Think of genes as tiny instruction books in our bodies that tell our cells how to grow and function. They're like recipes that decide things like your eye color or height, and even your talents, such as being good at music or sports. Not everyone has the same genes, and differences in these genes can affect how our brains develop. Some people might have genes that help them learn or solve problems better than others. Research has shown that genetics does play a part in intelligence, especially in studies of twins. Identical twins often have similar intelligence levels, even when raised apart, indicating that genes matter. However, it's important to remember that just having genes related to intelligence doesn't mean someone will automatically be brilliant. It's kind of like having all the ingredients for a cake. If you don't know how to bake it, you won't end up with something tasty. Now, let's move on to environment. This refers to everything around us, including our homes, schools, and the culture we grow up in. The experiences we have in our environments can greatly influence how we develop. For example, children who grow up in rich environments, like those with access to books and stimulating conversations, tend to develop better cognitive skills. On the other hand, children in less stimulating environments might struggle to reach their full intellectual potential. Our brains are also adaptable, which is known as plasticity. This means they can change and grow based on what we experience. Learning new skills, like playing an instrument or learning a language, can actually create new connections in the brain. A great example of how environment influences intelligence is the Pygmalion effect. When teachers have high expectations for their students, those students often perform better. But if expectations are low, students may not do as well. Next, let's explore the interplay between genetics and environment. This is often referred to as the nature versus nurture debate. Nature is about our genetic makeup, while nurture is about our environmental influences. Bennett stresses that it's not just one or the other. It's really about how both work together to shape our intelligence. A fascinating area of study called epigenetics shows that environmental factors can affect how our genes work. For instance, a stressful environment might turn off genes related to learning and memory, impacting how we develop intellectually. To illustrate this, think of two siblings who share the same genes but grew up in different settings. One had access to good educational resources, while the other faced obstacles. This difference can lead to variations in their intelligence and abilities, showing how genetics and environment combine to shape who we are. Finally, Bennett draws comparisons between human intelligence and artificial intelligence. Just like humans learn from their natural abilities, the coding written by programmers, and their experiences, the data they receive, AI systems are shaped by their algorithms and the data they're trained on. In AI, algorithms can adapt and learn from new information, similar to how our brains learn from experiences. For example, a machine learning model trained on a wide variety of data can perform better, just as a child exposed to diverse experiences may develop stronger cognitive skills. Neuroscience is all about studying the brain and nervous system, helping us understand how we think, learn, and remember. Researchers in artificial intelligence, or AI, often look at how the brain operates to build better AI systems. One major concept they use is neural networks, which are computer systems designed to mimic how our brains work. Just like our brains are made up of interconnected neurons that process information, these artificial neural networks consist of layers of nodes, or neurons that learn patterns from data. For example, when you teach a neural network to recognize cats in pictures, it analyzes thousands of images to pick out features like whiskers or ears, similar to how we learn to recognize familiar faces. Both humans and AI learn from mistakes too. When we make a wrong choice, our brains adjust so we can do better next time. AI also improves by using a process called backpropagation, where it learns from errors during training. As AI becomes more advanced, it raises important ethical questions. Should we create machines that can think or feel? What rights would these machines have? If a robot can make decisions, should it be held accountable for its actions? One famous ethical dilemma is the trolley problem, where a self-driving car has to choose between harming one person or 5. Scenarios like this force us to think deeply about moral choices and what it means to program these decisions into machines. Another ethical concern is how we will relate to AI. If we make machines that can simulate emotions or companionship, how will that change our interactions with each other? Will we treat AI with the same respect we give to other humans, or will we see them as just tools? Despite their impressive abilities, AI systems have significant limitations. They can process huge amounts of data and recognize patterns, but they lack true understanding or consciousness. For example, an AI might generate text or images that seem human-like, but it doesn't actually know what it's saying or creating. It has no feelings, intentions, or the personal experiences that come with human thought. AI can mimic some human behaviors, but doesn't understand the deeper meaning or context behind them. While it can generate responses based on data patterns, it doesn't grasp the subtleties of human emotions or social interactions like a person does. Self-awareness is another area where AI falls short. Humans have a sense of identity and consciousness, allowing us to reflect on our thoughts and feelings. In contrast, AI operates solely based on algorithms and lacks any self-awareness or personal experiences. Looking ahead, the integration of AI into our everyday lives is becoming more common. AI can assist in many areas, such as healthcare, where it can analyze medical data faster than humans, helping with diagnosis. It can also enhance our intelligence by providing tools to help us make better decisions. For instance, AI-driven analytics can help businesses make informed choices based on data trends, ultimately improving efficiency and outcomes. However, we need to approach this integration carefully. As we depend more on AI, it's crucial to think about how these technologies will impact our jobs, privacy, and social dynamics. Establishing ethical guidelines is essential to ensure that AI serves humanity in a positive way rather than causing harm. Throughout history, we've faced numerous challenges, like finding food and staying safe from predators. Our ability to think, reason, and solve problems has helped us adapt to various environments. For instance, early humans used their intelligence to create tools, build social structures, and communicate effectively, which allowed us to thrive and dominate different habitats around the world. When we view intelligence from an evolutionary standpoint, it becomes clear that it's a result of natural selection. Those who were better at solving problems and working together had a higher chance of survival and reproduction. Bennett points out that intelligence isn't just about knowing things, it's about applying that knowledge to real-life situations. This adaptability is why humans have developed diverse cultures and technologies over thousands of years. Bennett also talks about how technology shapes human intelligence. The tools we create have a big influence on how we think and interact with one another. For example, writing systems have enabled us to record and share information across generations, completely changing the way knowledge is passed down and built upon. Similarly, the internet has transformed how we access information and communicate, impacting our modern thought processes and social interactions. Looking to the future, Bennett raises important questions about where human and artificial intelligence are headed. He notes that while human intelligence has evolved over millennia, AI is advancing at a rapid pace, sometimes faster than we can fully understand or control it. One key point he makes is about the potential for collaboration between humans and AI. Instead of seeing AI as just a threat, he suggests that it can enhance our abilities. For instance, AI can help with complex problem solving and data analysis, freeing us to focus on more creative and strategic tasks. Bennett also emphasizes the ethical issues surrounding advanced AI systems. He urges us to consider the moral responsibilities that come with developing technology that can think and learn independently. For example, if an AI system relies on biased data to make decisions, it could lead to unfair outcomes in important areas like hiring or law enforcement. He touches on deeper philosophical questions about consciousness and what it means to be intelligent. Can machines ever truly replicate human consciousness, or will they always be advanced tools without self-awareness? This leads to interesting debates about thought, emotion, and identity, topics that become more relevant as AI systems grow in sophistication. In his final thoughts, Bennett expresses optimism for the future of intelligence. He believes that by continuing to understand our cognitive processes and the capabilities of AI, we can navigate this changing landscape with care. The aim should be to create a future where human intelligence and AI work together, enhancing our abilities while being mindful of the ethical implications involved. He encourages readers to reflect on their role in this ongoing story. By staying informed and engaged with technological advancements, we can help shape a future where intelligence, both human and artificial, positively impacts society. In this vision, intelligence becomes not just a tool for survival, but a way to enrich our lives, foster creativity, and tackle complex global challenges.